Hello friends, this video on food production enhancement part 5 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now let us talk about the different types of animal breeding. Now animal breeding can broadly be of two types, that is inbreeding and outbreeding. So when we say inbreeding, in means within or inside. So inbreeding is mating between animals of same breed. So within the breed, that is inbreeding. And outbreeding means outside the breed. So when you talk about inbreeding, it is going to be the mating between animals which belong to the same breed. Whereas outbreeding, that is outside the breed. So it is going to be mating between animals of different breeds. Now same breed means you see this dog and this dog. They both belong to the same breed. Now looking at the picture, please do not get confused that if two dogs belong to the same breed, then they have to be exactly identical. So they also might have some minor differences, but yes, look and feel wise, mostly they would look similar. Like you can very easily distinguish between a street dog and a very furry Pomeranian, right? So why? Because their look and feel is different. So they belong to two different breeds. Whereas outbreeding is mating between animals of different breeds or different species. So outbreeding, it is a very generic term again, and outbreeding again has a lot of different types based on whether the mating happens between animals of different breeds or it happens between animals of different species. So depending on that, we have different types of outbreeding. But here you just understand that inbreeding means same breed, outbreeding means different breed or different species altogether. So here you can see the example of outbreeding. So here these two dogs, they belong to two different breeds, but they might belong to the same species. Maybe both of them belong to the domestic dog species, but they both belong to different breeds. Now let us understand the concept of inbreeding. So what exactly happens in inbreeding when we say that individuals belonging to the same breed are mated with each other? Now the concept is that the closely related superior males and superior females are mated. Please note these terms, superior. That means, what do we mean by superior? Now when I say a superior male or a superior female, what I mean to say is a good quality male. That is a superior male, a good quality male and a good quality female belonging to the same breed. Now when they belong to the same breed, it becomes very obvious that they are going to be closely related because they belong to the same species. They also belong to the same breed of the same species. So closely related, a superior male and a superior female will be mated. Now what is the advantage of mating between a superior male and a superior female? The advantage is that, let us suppose this is the male, that is a bull, and this is the female, which is a cow. Now when a superior bull and a superior cow, they are mated, the result would be that a superior progeny will be obtained. So the offsprings which will be formed, they will also be of superior quality. Now when I say superior progeny, what do I mean? It means that the males or the females which will be produced as a result of offsprings, they will be such that the females will produce more milk. So when we say a superior female, a good quality female is going to be one who produces good quantity as well as quality of milk. So superior females will produce more milk and superior males will help to produce superior progeny again. So this is the advantage. So when a superior male and female are mated, superior offsprings will be formed. So the females will produce more milk and the males will again help to produce the next progeny. So that is basically the concept of inbreeding. Now the question is, why inbreeding? Now why do we want to mate closely related individuals? Why do we want to do that? Now in this case what happens is the less desirable genes are eliminated. Now when you take one superior quality male and one superior quality female, so what happens? The chances that the progeny will be superior is more. However, there are chances that the less desirable genes also get produced, but they will obviously be in lesser number, and over a period of several generations the less desirable genes will gradually get eliminated, right? So that is one advantage of inbreeding. Also, evolution of pure lines of an animal. Now when inbreeding is taking place for generations after generation, so what will happen as a result of this, homozygous individuals will be formed. So pure lines are nothing but homozygous individuals. You remember the Mendel's experiments? So in Mendel's experiment, we saw that even before he started his experiment with the pea plants, what he first did was he created pure lines for both tall plants and dwarf plants. That is, homozygous tall plants and homozygous dwarf plants were created even before he could start his actual experiment. I mean, before crossing the tall with the dwarf plants, what he did, this pure tall plants were obtained. Now, what was the process of obtaining the pure tall plants? That is, crossing the tall plants with each other over generations after generations. So when you do it for a couple of generations, then the less significant trait gets eliminated, and what you get is a pure line for that particular trait. So similarly, in this case also, homozygous individuals will be formed and the undesirable ones will get reduced, and finally they will get eliminated over a longer period of time. So now when you talk about inbreeding, you actually see that selection occurs at each step, because every time whatever is desirable, whichever gene is desirable, that is taken into consideration, and the less desirable genes are gradually eliminated. So selection happens at each step of the process. Now with this you can get to know that when we talk about inbreeding, we only breed the closely related animals which belong to the same breed. Now also another thing to mention here is, when we say closely related animal, what do we mean by that? Firstly, they belong to the same breed, that is true, but closely related would mean that they share the same ancestors in the last few generations. For example, either they belong to the same parent, either they have the same parent, or they have the same grandparent, or they have the same great-great-grandparent. So at least in the last 5 to 6 generations, they share the same ancestor. So in that case, we say that they are closely related. However, there are certain disadvantages of inbreeding as well, and that is why we do outbreeding. Now, what are the disadvantages? So, one disadvantage is that continued inbreeding reduces fertility. Now, what happens is, now when you say that you are going to inbreed, that means you are basically going to mate the animals amongst themselves. So, a small group of animals are continuously mating with each other continuously. So what happens? This repeated inbreeding tend to reduce the fertility. Now when the fertility reduces, what will happen? The productivity will also reduce. So not many new animals will be formed. So and when the productivity reduces, what happens? This is what is known as inbreeding depression. So this is called inbreeding depression. Depression means decrease. So inbreeding depression is that stage where the productivity reduces because the fertility reduces, and fertility reduces as a result of continued inbreeding. So there has to be a solution for this, and the solution to this is outbreeding. So instead of breeding or mating the animals amongst themselves, or instead of only closely related animals mating with each other, they should also be allowed to mate with other animals, maybe at least with animals of different breeds. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for an easy 4-step learning process absolutely free of cost. Watch video lessons, ask questions, refer notes, and take an online test. Thank you once again.